1 hour later.
Okay guys, let's get right to the point. When you go to France, if you're invited into a very nice restaurant, at the end of the food, you will need to say merci, c'est bon. That means thank you, it's nice. C'est bon, bon means it's nice. 10 seconds in, and you've already learned something. That's amazing, isn't it?
12 seconds later.
I'm here to remind you of a few things, and I was in the garden, I was gardening. I hate gardening. Just had this idea. I thought it'd come in, but the office is cold. So, anyway, as I was saying, I'm here to remind you of a few things. And you probably didn't know that, but the way of remembering new things is to have a totally new experience. If the experience is not new, you tend to piggyback things onto it, and then you misremember or you don't remember it properly. So, if it's a brand new experience, I think they call it a schema, that's it, for a brand new schema. Memory. That could come in handy later on. Brand new schema. This is our video. So welcome to my first video in psychology. I'm a professional, so there should be no problem. Hold on, going back. Okay, so over the last 5 terms, we have grown together. Evan, Finn and Lottie, psychological machines, what can I say? Ollie, for most of the year she's been very busy finding out who she is, and I think she's getting there. Karis, she's been focusing on where she was and where she was supposed to be. That's about you. Me, I have grown a lot over the last 5 terms. Anyway, there's a picture of me before I met you guys, and look at me now. When I was young, I was very small, and that's mostly because in most cases I was far away in the distance doing stupid things. But I grew up. Well, when I say I grew up, to be more accurate, others grew me up. I was socialized into a human being, which means I learned to deal with others. And here you are, professional at work. Laptop fails, coffee falls. Professional, don't forget. Anyway, human is about dealing with the others, isn't it? What's this? Hold on. Right, let's sort it. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a soldier, then a clown, and then an Arctic landscape gardener. Yeah, that didn't work out. And then a teacher. So I became a soldier, a clown, an Arctic landscape gardener, and now a teacher. When I grow up, I think I want to be a nurse. I had dreams, and I conformed to my dreams. I conformed to other people's organizations, and so by conforming, I went along with others. I obeyed. In other words, I gave obedience to people of a high status. That's the kind of person I am, naturally. Tell you what, we could call it, this is my natural disposition. My natural disposition is that I conform. Fair enough. Life is not about you, so, you learn to crack on. Yes. No, Lottie, you know your stuff. Yes, you do know your stuff, Lottie. Yes, no problem. Yeah, the idea is when there is a question in psychology, focus on a question. So yes. No. If the essay is about Eysenck, you can still talk about Cooper and Mackey. But when you talk about Cooper and Mackey, you have to explain why you're talking about Cooper and Mackey. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, that's right. If it's nature-nurture, make sure you talk about nature-nurture all the time. And when you talk about Mackey and Eysenck and stuff, you only use them as examples. Yeah. You could have 2 people both using exactly the same fact. One would be a muppet because they just use a fact without organizing it. And the other one would be a goddess because they organize the facts. Yeah, to fit the question. Yeah, goddess. Yeah, like you, Lottie, a goddess. Yeah, no worries. You take care. Right, sorry about that. What was I saying? Yes, I conform to my dreams, I conform to other people's organization, and so by conforming, I went along with other people. I obeyed. In other words, I gave obedience to people of high status. Now, deep down, they probably were not any better than me, but I learned that as we live in society, I don't get to choose who has a high status. High status people, it's organized by people beyond me, so I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, that's the kind of person I am naturally. My personal disposition is that I conform. I know I'm right because Nat Sen in 2011 said that morality comes from the frontal cortex and self-esteem comes from the hippocampus. I have a frontal cortex, I guess, and I've got a hippocampus, I hope. So that's the reason why I have a moral compass. By becoming part of a bigger thing, I became the best version of me, and I laughed with my friends during music festivals. I went on motorcycle adventures, and yes, even military adventures. You would have been proud of me. I was part of society. I was building society. I was pro-social. By becoming part of a bigger thing, I also became the worst of me. To be fair, I often talk about being in charge of my own behavior, but my own behavior depends a lot on those around me, really. I like to think I'm autonomous, that I'm responsible for my actions, but reality is that sometimes I do things I probably would never do if I was on my own. I let people decide what I do. There's an expression for that. There is a state for that. I forgot what it is. What could it be? Anyway, in the army, if a colonel asked me to do something, I would do it. I hope it was for the best. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, I just followed orders, so not really my fault. Yeah, somebody did some study on that. And I'm pretty sure that he would say that, even if I did something bad. It probably wasn't my fault. Or was it my fault? And I was just rationalizing it, saying it's not my fault because of orders. One guy came up with that. 1974 it was. I forgot who his name was. If I did do bad things, there were situational factors that made me do those things. So in 2011, there was a peaceful protest in Tottenham, and suddenly it just blew up into a big riot. There were different causes for that, obviously, but a lot of sociologists looked at it, and they agree that the riots happened because a lot of the individuals felt in the dark and everything that they became anonymous. They stopped being who they were. They were de-individuated. They lost the sense of who they were. That's what I'm trying to say. So their own dispositional belief about right and wrong became lost. Surrounded by situational factors in a crowd, they realized they could be the worst of themselves. And as a result, they thought they would be caught. And instead of the crowd being a thing for the best, it became a crowd for the worst. That's nothing new. Bon means nice in French. Did you know that? Le bon. You know, it's nice in a restaurant? No? Okay, don't worry. You know, Le Bon in 1895, so well before the riots in 1975, said that by the mere fact that, do you know what? I'll put it up on the screen here. You would not have been proud of me. I wasn't in Tottenham, but in other things, you would not have been proud of me. I was part of society, but the worst society, the worst of society. I sometimes became antisocial, and I could hide my behavior in a crowd. I lost my sense of reality. Fortunately, I never lost my moral compass, unlike many hooligans and rioters have. If Milgram did his experiment again and pretended to zap people, I hope I would fight the agentic state and refuse to take part in an experiment, which is pretty dodgy ethically anyway. I say that now, but evidence suggests that I probably wouldn't. Do you know the nature-nurture debate we always have? We bang on about nature-nurture. Just occurs to me, what about the free will versus determinism debate? Free will, I'm responsible. Determinism, well, I'm not responsible. Would it be better, more interesting to frame the nature-nurture debate under this term? Free will versus determinism. Yeah, maybe. Lottie's phoning. Evan. Yeah. No, Le Bon. Yeah, that's the quote I put on stage, yeah. Yeah, he's a bloke that said individuals can become bad in the crowd. I know, he's called good. And yet he thinks badly of the crowd. Yes, good, yeah. Did you know that in French, bon means good? You did. No, you didn't. Oh, you're not French. Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay. No, put the phone down on me. I spend more time on memories. I enjoy my memories. I have a good memory. I am very organized when I create memories. I input, then I encode, and then I store, and then I retrieve, so then I can do something with the memory, which is output. A bit like a computer, really. That's probably why I teach computer science. Can you see the link? I hope you do. Anyway, sometimes I forget, though. Memories decay. They are displaced, or I forget the cues to help me remember them. So very often memory is associated with a specific cue. I get the cue and therefore I can get the memory. And then I forget. Of course, sociologists don't say they forget. They say they cannot retrieve the information at the same time. Now that's really good. Next time your teacher asks you a question, say, did you forget? No, sir, I didn't forget. I'm just failing to retrieve the information. It's in there somewhere. To remember things, a lot of people argue that they have to repeat things a lot. When I say lots of people, actually means Atkinson and Schifrin. Atkinson and Schifrin, really interesting guys, because they are on your revision paper, but they're not in red. Some Muppet forgot to put them in red. So, who am I talking about? Atkinson. No, nothing to do with the cat. Anyway, I don't want to talk about the cat. Atkinson and Schifrin came up with an idea of memory being put into your brain according to a specific stage. First, it goes into the sensory store, so it senses. Then, if it's relevant, it goes into your short-term memory store. And then, if you repeat it often enough, just one enough was enough. Anyway, if repeated often enough, it goes into the long-term memory. This is called the multi-store model of memory. I repeat, sensory store, short-term, long-term. How do you go from short-term to long-term? Because you repeat it a lot. That's it. That makes sense. But if somebody wanted to criticize a multi-model of memory, they could say they're spending too much time or too much focus on the idea of repetition. They don't actually call it repetition, they call it rehearsal. Sounds nicer. So you get a memory in a short term, you rehearse, and eventually it will go into your long-term memory. This is a multi-model of memory. So three other guys, Wilson, Kopelman, and Kapoor, did some work, and they approached this by looking at retrograde and anterograde amnesia. Yeah, Wilson, Kopelman, and Kapoor, WKK. Yeah, bit of a mouthful, so I use the initial WKK to remind me. When I see Wilson, Kopelman, and Kapoor, it reminds me that these are the guys who worked on Atkinson and Schifrin's model of memory. No, not PPK, different, PKK different. This one is WKK. That doesn't help. They didn't call it repetition because they like the theatre. They call it, as I said, the rehearsal. So, their views on the multi-store memory model was challenged by Brown. Brown's not an acronym, his name was Brown. He worked with Ellis and Loftus. It's in the form. Is he still alive? Brown? Oh, hold on. Yes, he is. So, Brown, he came up with an idea of reconstructive memory. They tested some kids in a US lab and they subjected them to Disney films, and then they tried to see if they could remember things that they actually had not experienced. kind of weird, but it's good for the police, because the police used to rely 100% on witness account. And through Braun's work, he realized that actually, even if a witness tells you that the car was black, you can't really trust it. You've got to write it down. They've got to write it down, but don't trust it. All this work was very important. They talked about confabulation. Confabulation is putting different memories together and coming up with a third one, which actually is not a real memory. Distortion. So, as we know, we talked about schemas before. Distortion is when you attach your memory to an existing one, so you can remember it. But by doing that, of course, you distort the original memory. And the last one is expectation. If you see a man with the arm outside and you hear a gunshot and you hear somebody fall, then some people will remember the gun, even though there was no gun. Anyway, I don't want to talk about guns and shooting right now. What am I going to do with it? Criticism, is reductionist, validity. What about the universality? You can use all the usual arguments. Hold on. They made them watch Disney films. Torture. Maybe there are ethical problems. Can you force somebody to watch a Walt Disney film? Is this the same as torture? Could be a problems of ethics here. But hold on. Hi, Finn. Yeah, good. Yeah, and I'm working on your video, revision video. Yeah, I'm working on Braun, Ellis, and Loftus. No. Braun, Ellis, and Loftus. They worked on reconstructive memory. Yeah. Well, memory theory. Yeah, I guess all theory. Nobody knows anything in this place. Yeah, why reconstructive? I don't know. WKK. WKK. You don't. You haven't looked. Have you looked at the form? WKK, Wilson, Kopelman, and Kapoor. Yeah, I call them WKK. Yeah, it's easier. No, don't write that on the exam. They won't have a clue what you're talking about. Anyway, those guys and Braun, they come up with one theory, and then, they come up with one theory. Braun didn't like it. He came up with a reconstructed theory. And it's about reconstructing memories that did not exist. Yeah, the police, they're interested. I know, yeah. You know? Oh, so we both know. Weird, isn't it? Yeah, WKK, Wilson, Kopelman, and Kapoor. Yeah. They worked on the multi-store model memory and looked at retrograde and anterograde memory loss. I know it's not clear on the revision sheet I wrote for you. I'm pleased you noticed, yeah. Yeah, anterograde. Yeah, that's, you can't learn new things, but you remember the past long time ago. Old people always talking about the past, what happened when they were kids. Yeah, that's because they don't have a clue about what happened yesterday. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, I know I'm like that. I know. And the other one, well, retrograde is you remember new things. Yeah, like we might have an accident, for example. So you remember new things since the accident, but before the accident, zipped, nada. Yeah. So Wilson, Kopelman, and Kapoor, they did not come up with a multi-store memory. Yeah, that was Atkinson and Schifrin. Yeah. Wilson, Kopelman, and Kapoor, they worked on this thing, and they worked on anterograde and retrograde memory. I know they spent too much focus on repetition. Yeah. They called it rehearsal. Yeah, and I said repetition, so you might understand. No, I am not patronizing. Have you thought of this criticism yourself, Finn? Put the phone down on me. Do you know what? I feel it's actually getting warmer outside than inside. This is freezing here, but the sky is blue outside. It's about, what time is it? Yeah, 8:30 in the morning, and it's bright, lovely. Rest of the Sunday, no mowing. I'll go on the motorbike, back onto my motorbike. Every time I am not at school, I spend it on my motorbike. Sometimes I'm so tired that I fall asleep on a motorbike and I dream of biking. You have a biological clock, the SCN. Your biological clock responds to night and day, light and day. Mine is focused on motorcycle adventure and Africa. Yeah, and I'm not normal, but you knew that anyway. So we do not share the same endogenous pacemakers. Yours is about inner clock, mine is, motorbikes. And we're also very different as far as our Zeitgebeers are concerned. My normal sleep is affected by my routine of dreaming about motorbikes. Farmers and nurses work during the night. In the night, I do not sleep. So how do I dream? Well, first I start lightly. I'm drowsy. Then I lose consciousness. Then I go into deep sleep. Then I go into deep sleep with no brain activity. And then I go into the dream cycle, which is called the REM. So if one day I faint and you realize I've got no brain activity, I haven't gone stupid, okay? I'm probably just in deep sleep. So this is how a normal person should sleep normally. And it's called a 24-hour sleep cycle. The functions of this is why? Emotional stability, healthy brain, and physical repair. So as you can see, for me, emotional stability, healthy brain, physical repair, this ship has sailed.
1 hour later.
We know what good sleep is, but if you don't get sleep, what would be the issue, the sleep disorders? So sleep maintenance. If you drink too much alcohol, if you're depressed, if your partner snores, then you'll have some problems with alcohol. You'll really struggle. The other one is called sleep onset insomnia, and has to do with anxiety, caffeine, late mental activities, and nicotine. So sleep maintenance is one. Sleep onset insomnia is you just can't fall asleep. And having said that, I don't smoke, so that's one good thing. I don't smoke. Hi, Caris. Yeah, no, you meant to phone a while ago. I started the video without you. I know you're late, but I had to crack on. Yeah. What am I talking about? You know, sleep cycles, endogenous pacemakers, exogenous site gears, sleep maintenance, sleep insomnia. No, I haven't done a theory yet. No, I haven't. Yeah, I'll do it now. Okay, I'll do it now. Right. Okay, a theory. Theory is Freudian theory of dreaming. He came up with it, and he says that the mind has unacceptable thoughts, feelings, and desires, that the thoughts are so bad that our conscious mind cannot deal with them. They are repressed. And when they're repressed too much, they can lead to a mental breakdown. So we know, well, according to him, the mind is made out of the conscious mind. That's what we're aware of. The pre-conscious mind, we're not really aware of them, but if we started to dig in our brain a bit, we probably would find them. And the unconscious mind, the unconscious, is deep down, man, and we're not able to access it. The unconscious makes himself manifest, I remember the word, through dreams. And some of you will remember there is a special process with a special name to do that. And the criticism of all this work is that Freud was very, very subjective. There's no real experiment. And sometimes a dream might have a hidden meaning, but sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, as I say. Yeah, don't worry. Caris, yeah. No, I've done it. Yeah. I've talked about Freud. Okay, the other theory, the activation synthesis theory. Yeah, the other one. No, but I've talked about it. Well, probably before you arrived, you must have been late. Okay, I'll do it right now. Okay. Dream. Two theories. Sigmund Freud, the Freudian theory of dreaming. The other one is activation synthesis theory of dreaming. Hobson and Macaulay came up with it in 1977. And their theories is actually the dreams are a result of our mind trying to make sense of the brain activity during the sleep, and all the memories that we have built and experiences that we have built during the day. The brain's trying to put it in some kind of order during the night, and the mind on the side is looking at it and not too sure what the hell's going on, so it's building dreams out of it. Williams et al. In 1992, they agree with that. They found that dreamy features, and they really agree that dreams are not always meaningful. unlike Freud says, dreams can be random. But then again, the criticism is the dream could become meaningful. Freud, not a lot of evidence and everything, but we can't disprove it either. So, come on. Ah, Ollie, yes, I was waiting for your call. I got everybody. Yeah, I know I'm working on the video now. Yeah. How can I help? Oh, you want me to help? Oh, sorry. Okay. Leo's giving you a hard time. Yeah, I'll sort him out. No problem. Is he taller than me? No, I'll okay. If he's not taller than me, I'll beat him up. No problem. You don't want him killed? Well, of course I won't kill him. Who is he? Is your boyfriend? Oh, your cat. Oh, that's not funny. Oh, right. Okay. So, dreams, Freudian theory of dreaming, and the other one is activation synthesis theory of dreaming by Hobson and Macaulay. So if I were you, I'd probably have a quick look at that, because that's definitely going to come in paper 2. Oh, come on. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to put the fan on manually. Yeah, I have finished the video. Yeah, no, not really a revision video. It's more like a nudge video. To try to nudge some questions into your brain and hope that if there's something you don't quite understand because of my silly accent or something I've said, you just make a point of looking it up. Yeah, because if you look it up, then it stays in your brain. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, we've done the answers. We've covered everything. So it's not teaching video as such. It's just make sure everything is at the top of your brain, cerebral cortex, as I say. Okay, so we good? Good. Yeah. Ollie, about this cat. Ollie? I'm not too sure if this video is working, to tell you the truth. I'm not getting much traction. Are you guys nervous? Are you worried about your GCSEs? Are GCSEs making you nervous? Okay, forget about psychology, bit of philosophy, guys. Step number 1, if you're nervous about something, give up. Forget about it. Give up. Step number 1, give up. Worried about GCSE? Don't do them. Worried about competition? Don't do it. Worried about anything? Give up. The key to success is 1, to give up. Easy. Let's give up. I'm sorry guys, I've given up with this video. Yeah, if you give up. Chill. Don't feel bad about it. Just give up. Oh, I'm getting good at paper planes. No, thanks. Okay, now you've given up. What happens now? Step 1 is to give up. Step 2 is, well, step 2 is up to you now. You've given up. Now, whatever you do for step 2 after, it's totally up to you. So it's all about choices. What choices are you making? You've given up? Now let's crack on. Let's choices. The choice is very simple. You can go back into life, do your GCSE, or you can decide not to do your GCSE, and then what's the alternative? So, once you've made your choices, GCSEs, Very important. Don't feel sorry for yourself. These are your choices. You have decided that. You've given up. You cleared the table. You've remade your choices. Now it's time to crack on. Because the last step is to build your beautiful life for a beautiful person. The key thing is you don't have to do things because you're told. You're doing things because you want to. And this video is part of it. Me, well, yesterday was my 86th birthday, so I must admit, I don't plan